this semester, I kind of saw more the students grow from the background. By background, it doesn't mean that I didn't get to tell students how to improve, right? It was mostly them. It was a journey where they were figuring out who they are based on what they care about. So, este semestre con los estudiantes no estuve muy activo, no estuve un poco más en atrás de escenas apoyándolos. Sí les estaba diciendo cómo se llama una que otro o consejo para la escritura, decir la historia, para hablar públicamente, para recordar las historias. Pero honestamente este semestre yo solo vi a sus estudiantes crecer, cómo conocerse a sí mismos buscando las cosas que para ellos es importante, ¿verdad? Y eso de lo que es importante es sobre la comunidad. ¿Qué parte de la comunidad ellos, ellas o ellas les interesa, les importa y les gustaría, no quiero decir mejorar, pero les gustaría crear una acción para crear un impacto hacia sus propias comunidades? Y eso es lo que hicieron este semestre los estudiantes. Hicieron más investigación, estuvieron más leyendo artículos en las computadoras y lo hicieron con el propósito, no solo de decir que sí, estoy aquí en la comunidad y el apoyo, pero con el propósito de conocerse a sí mismos, para que ellos sepan de lo que pueden hacer, y no de lo que pueden hacer, de lo que ya están haciendo por su comunidad. Y so I know some of you understood what I said, but I hope that through this experience, right, from last semester, telling stories through theater, to now, right, doing research, creating a piece for you to share with the community what you care about for your community, right? Last semester was more about what we all care about in our community. Today is what each one of you care about for your own community, right? And like I was telling your parents, this project was not only you doing good for the community, this project was getting to know you by knowing what parts of the community you care about and you would like to create action, so like that you create impact within there, right? So this was not only a journey of like, oh, I understand these issues, this social problem. It was a journey also that each one of you to understand why is it that you care for that, why is it that you want to do something about it, right? So when you come to stage, show that you pick those issues, those topics that you want to talk about because you care, because it impacts the people you love, because it impacts you, because it also impacts those people, right? That you don't know, but that you already humanize them without knowing them. And that's something I appreciate from all of you. Andrew, as always, thank you, and it's been a pleasure watching you in action and supporting these kids, especially through the research, right? Which, as we know, education and research is important nowadays. Making sure how to get the credible information that is well done, well researched, right? So Andrew, was magnificent seeing you lead that aspect, that portion. And shout out to Elana, who, I mean, she led an amazing vocal exercise with all of you, and I love how some of you weren't doing your shells, but open. I'm not gonna say you open up fully, but you crack open a little bit for you to let out a little bit more your vocal. Muchas gracias by staying just to.
Hi, my name is Andrea De Satalis, and I go to Marin Academy. The issue I will be discussing today is the lack of physical activity in our community. Over 81% of children, which includes teens as well, are not getting the required amount of activity in, which is only about an hour. Less than 50% of adults also aren't getting this required time. Technology is one of the reasons why these people aren't getting their activity in, especially because there's an increase during and after COVID-19. But income is also a really big reason on why people aren't getting the required amount of activity in. Over 60% of families don't have their kids involved in any sports because of financial problems. Kids especially shouldn't need to worry about whether they can play sports or not. This is a time where they not only build their passion, but where they develop sportsmanship, teamwork, problem-solving skills, and just overall have fun doing what they want to do. I had personal experience myself because I've been hesitant to buy athletic equipment just because of how expensive it was. And it just felt so awful knowing that I couldn't do club sports just because of the expenses. In order to help with this issue, I want to do an athletic clothing drive. And because I play volleyball and do track and field, I want to offer lessons to kids around 7 and up. This issue is just so important to me because kids shouldn't need to worry at all about the sports they have to do or whether they can play or not just because of the cost, but they should just have fun doing what they love to do overall. Thank you.
That was all.
Good day. Hi, everybody. My name is Christina Hernandez, and I attend Adeluma High School. Me and Angela Tran, who attend San Marin, co-founded a project called Dedicated Dad, focusing on helping kids and teens create a more intentional bond with their father figures. We felt like we didn't have a intentional connection with our father figures, not because they weren't there physically, but because we didn't make time for us to create an intentional bond. And we found out that we weren't alone on this because around 1 in 4 children report in 2-parent households report having no meaningful connection with their father figure. And we wanted to create a CUP project focusing on making time and not waiting for time. The kid.
Hi everyone, my name is Sandra and I'm currently a freshman at Santa Monica, and my issue is the lack of physical activity in our community. Now, sports teaches us teamwork, discipline, and to never give up after one fail. But it's no secret that sports makes you expensive when it comes to league fees, equipment, and club prices. Over 60% of families suffer from this issue. Now, that means a lot of young athletes are hiding in the sidelines, not because they lack physical skill, but because they can't hold it. I believe that this is something that should be talked about more. I want people to hear and have a place where they can get their mind off things and experience the love of a sport. Now, for me, soccer is a place where I can get my mind off things if I'm stressed. And I want everyone to experience something like that. Not only is it a good way to get exercise, but a good way to make new friends and to learn new things about things that you never knew before. Like I said, it taught me to never give up after one missed shot, to keep taking shots, because if you give up on the first time, then you never know your full capacity. Now, this is what I want to make this my community uplift project. Thank you.
My name is Jonathan Alvarez. I attend Terra Linda High School and I'm a freshman. And my community uplift project is pollution and littering. Did you know that 7 million people die every year because humans release 36.5
Just take a big breath. Keep moving up. You don't get this. Just take down that set, please. Just keep reading out the presentation. We probably try to avoid the guys.
And Jonathan, you can stand up straight. We'll get you in the mic, don't worry. All right.
And basically, I used to live in a bad city which had litter garbage and litter because people never really cared about throwing their trash away. And so ever since I realized that, I've always been throwing my trash when I was about 5 to 10 years old. A solution that I've wanted to do is add more trash bins to streets so people can throw their trash away because I've noticed that there aren't a lot of trash bins in some streets so people can throw their trash in. That is it.
Okay. Hey everyone. My name is Valeria Velasquez and I attend the Base School in San Francisco. And today I'm going to talk about something real, something that happens to kids our age that we don't realize. Underage substance use. Underage substance use has been a growing issue in the community, and teens get affected by it in very harmful ways. That's why it's my goal to inform them and make sure that they make the right choices for the future. So first, let's start with this question. Why do teens are using substances in the first place? I like to refer to it as why. First, the read, wanting to fit you. H, hurt emotions like stress, anxiety, depression, or to use it as an overall say, tough situation. And finally, why? You're curious or influence. I see people that I care about make these decisions because they were going through something tough, something that they couldn't control. But what they didn't know is that this decision came with consequences. For example, the CDC reports that 4,000 people under the age of 21 die each year because of excessive alcohol use. These aren't just numbers, these are lives lost too soon. Teens need to understand the real risk that comes with substance use. That's why I want to make it my goal to host potential discussions, school talks, and give kids the space where they feel safe enough to learn and to ask questions. Thank you.
Sure, thank you.
Very good.
My name is Devin Gatt. I'm a ninth grader at Terrell High School. I will be talking about the substance use that affects teens. Although I have a personal struggle with substance use, I've seen friends fall into it. In fact, 1 in 5 high school students report using drugs and alcohol. This affects their health, academic status, and success. Thank you. My name is Bianca Susan Center High School. My issues about women in single mothers and shelters. These women shouldn't have self-care or needed products to help them feel more confident because we all know the situation they were in to be in a shelter. They should know that in 2024, over 17,000 women and girls were homeless. Many of them were single mothers trying to find a safe place for their children. Many of them leave behind these due to stress or anxiety, and we can get computing self-care products that relieve that stress so they can feel more confident and more like themselves and have a normal situation. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Kyson. I'm a freshman at Branson, and my project is on homelessness in San Francisco. Homelessness in San Francisco has been a big problem for many years. Currently, there are about 8,000 homeless people in San Francisco. The reason for this is due to high rent prices and low-paying jobs. The reason why I care so much about this issue is because I can't live at peace knowing that there's so many homeless people out there that are suffering every single day. Which is why I ask everyone here to help me with my project by donating, since I believe that if you have the power to help those in need, then you should use it to your advantage. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Alexander Savino Arana and I'm a freshman at Terraland High School. My project is mainly focused on microplastics and how they affect us and the environment. I believe microplastics have become this big issue in our society, affecting each and every one of us. From a small issue into a massive issue, it has accumulated in the environment and in our bodies, causing noticeable changes in ourselves and mainly in the environment. Growing up, my parents would take me out to nature in national parks or take a walk outside. And that has really affected me, being an outgoer in nature. And so seeing all these microplastics, like all the studies, has really affected my perspective on what we should do about water sources and microplastics. And so I ask each and every one of you to support my project and pick up trash and throw it away responsibly. Thank you.
My name is Slay. I attend Terraland High School. My issue is about littering, and this affects my community because I see a lot of trash in canal, and a lot of animals and humans can get viruses and infections because of this problem. And I think something that could prevent this from happening can be putting more garbage cans on the streets and local parks and local places. Um, I think there should be more signs out saying to throw away trash in the streets and yeah, thank you.
My name is Juan, and I wrote about life. According to Marin, since 2017, over at 700,000 gallons of trash have been picked up locally. Um, Trash doesn't only harm us, with water, land, and all wildlife too. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Minor. I'm currently a freshman in San Domenico. My issue is about homelessness. First of all, have you ever wondered if homelessness is a personal or societal issue? Homelessness, no matter where, is a very big issue. Not only does it affect one person, but a whole community. And even though you're not experiencing it, it can affect your whole community, which also affects you in some type of way. Growing up, I have never experienced homelessness myself, neither has anyone in my family, but I have noticed lots of homelessness warring up in brain of homelessness is a very big issue because in 2024, there was around 720,000 who were experiencing homelessness in the United States alone. And that's about 80% more than previous years. So this is a very big issue. It should be addressed. And that's it. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Ryan. He's a Vivor. I'm 13 years old and I go to Marin Academy. The issue I'm trying to address is poverty. Poverty is a very big issue that affects millions of people around the whole world and many people around our community. I've seen this firsthand growing up in Marin County, where the poverty percentage according to Pinal Lines is 14.7%, which is around 37,000 people. I plan to address this issue by working with other communities and grow food banks, donate food, and do other things to help people in poverty. Many people think that poverty is just an issue of money, but it's also about the right of resources like education and healthcare. So I plan to try to help people in poverty with healthcare and yeah. Thanks.
Hey, that was fantastic. I just want to start off by saying, first of all, I'm proud of you guys. That was a great job. I know it can be tired, but how do you all feel now that you guys have done it? Like a nice weight lifted off your shoulders, it feels refreshing. How do y'all feel? Feels good? Hey, Jermaine, you can't take it all 3 times. So thank you for that. I appreciate it. Guys, quite a there. So, Alex, like I was saying, I think you guys did an excellent job. I really want to encourage you guys to be your best and your biggest supporters. I think that's one of the greatest lessons I've learned in my life. So give yourself grace, but also be the one that pushes yourself, right? If you know that you could have done better, you think, hey, maybe I could have practiced a little bit more and I could have been a little bit more solid, then be that person to give yourself that push, right? Because I know you guys are all capable of doing better and doing well, and you guys did, but give yourself the grace and understanding, but also make sure you guys are pushing yourselves. If there's one thing I'd point out, maybe it says like, so where are you guys still working on? It would be about body management, how us as humans utilize our bodies to communicate, right? As you guys can kind of see I do right now, naturally. Thinking about how things come across, if I would stand here like this, and I would have just talked to you guys, as opposed to me being able to engage everybody here in ideas. It's my hands, it's my body, right? It's my eyes. And so I really want to encourage you guys to use all the tools you guys have at your disposal to talk and connect with people and make that sort of connection, right? So that means I noticed some of you guys, and again, this is about practice. I understand you guys are doing a lot better than I was back in 9th grade, so kudos to that. But I did notice a lot of you guys would be straight at this right part of the year. But that kind of ignores the rest of the audience, right? That would be like me trying to talk to this full group, but only talking to David, right? It doesn't make sense if I would just talk to David. But in reality, I want to talk to the whole audience and talk to this whole team. So to that point, Andrea, I noticed when you first came up, you did a really good job of kind of naturally addressing those audience, right? Like you could tell that you kind of needed to cheat out this way. You made sure that you were addressing upward side. So good job there. So I really want to encourage you guys to think about how us as humans, we use our hands and our eyes to communicate, right? So when we want to engage people, we look at them, right? We use our hands, we use our bodies to make points, right? To talk about certain things. So really want to encourage you guys to get comfortable doing that and using your bodies and all the tools you guys have available to communicate. But hey, such a cool job, like from Andrea. I think you did such a great job for setting the tone and going up there. So I really want to give you props for that, for being the first one to step up and give your presentation 3 times. Wonderful job. You got the most practice, so that's a good thing. So Valeria, I really appreciate your style. Like you can see how everybody has a different style, a different voice, and that's a good thing, right? We should encourage that. We should celebrate that. So really encourage all of you guys to lead into yourselves and who you are as communicators and as human beings, right? The experiences you guys bring, the ideas and talents you guys bring from the table, it's going to be unique to each of us. So good job. I appreciate you guys all. David, any thoughts?
It was amazing. Yeah, I'm just excited when you all enact those community projects and then you speak about them. Oh, the last thing, as you know, I'm just a writer, and a lot of you know that writer's block for me doesn't exist because for writer block to exist is me not knowing what I'm writing about. It applies also to speaking and talking, right? If you do research, which that's what we spent this whole semester, all of you reading, all of you obtaining sources from the internet and other places, right? I realized that those of you who actually put in the time to do the research and keep reading more and more and more, you guys feel more comfortable talking about your project, talking about yourself, and talking about a relationship with that, right? So I'm not claiming this. Maybe it's for speakers when they blog and they have link is different. But I feel that if you do the research and you obtain the information and the knowledge, you should just let that information come out of you naturally, right? Because some of you, it came out naturally, and some of you, I can tell that you were scanning in your brain, you were like scanning through that for reading, but you were doing it's like, what was that information that I read, right? That was also perfect. That was okay too. But just keep in mind that if you cannot, like, if you're blanking or you don't know what you're talking about, that's maybe because you need the knowledge, right? You need to obtain that. You need to ask questions. You need to get answers, right? And you need to keep digging further, right? But besides that, I want to acknowledge that a lot of you actually beat it. A lot of you have had really cool information, amazing data, and then my favorite part is when you talk about your personal experience, when you brought yourself into the story, right? When you say, I, my family, my friends, right? The people around you, my community. Every time you mention those subjects, I was like, ooh, you got him. You did your research, you did your own personal research, you combined both, and you created this, which so you know, if some of you had like a presentation in the background, it probably would have been an amazing TED Talk, right? It would have been an amazing lecture / presentation / persuasive speech, trying to not convince us. It's something human, right? So, like Andrew said, some of us might need a little bit more practice. Some of us might need to reassess with ourselves. Oh, maybe I need to take this time. Instead of doing this, I need to do this. And some of us already got it, right? Some of us, this is gonna become maybe our jobs, right? Writing, I don't call it scripts because they're not both scripts, and then coming and presenting it, right? So, beautiful job. One last thing, I teach poetry to 7th and 8th graders. You are 9th graders. That means that you're just a year older to the kids that I actually work with. You did amazing in terms of being here. That was the casual, right? Like little movements, not knowing what to do with your cane, so you put it in your pocket or you put it somewhere here. Little details that can be fixed. But the fact that you went here, you spoke like, a lot of you spoke really with confidence of like, I know this knowledge and I want to do something about it or with it, right? That was amazing. That was no 9th grade level. You were already reaching like, even I would say, junior level of public speaking and being able to present information. Because, right, everybody can come up here and present information. Like I was telling some of you, if the audience leave with a message, you did good. If they leave with an emotional impact, you did good. But if they don't leave with neither of those, then reassessment, right? I personally left with both of them. So thank you. Thank you for your work, and thank you for doing what you think tonight, or this evening today. Appreciate you, parents, for your attention as others. Aprecio su atención de ustedes, padres, y por siempre apoyar a sus estudiantes, porque sí están creciendo, y están creciendo rápido, de una manera muy hermosa. Es un gran jardín, plantas, árboles de todo tipo creciendo a todo ritmo, creciendo a toda temperatura, a toda temporada, ¿verdad? Y nada más, ¿verdad? Como sabemos que es un jardín, las flores son diferentes, hay que saber cómo cuidarlos, qué agua tirar, ¿verdad? Tal vez una agüita con un poco de ceniza, una agüita con... No todas las plantas necesitamos de lo mismo, ¿verdad? Todos necesitamos diferentes cosas, pero lo que todos hacemos, crecemos, ¿verdad? Lo inevitable, crecer, ¿verdad? So, sigan cuidando de sus hijos como siempre han hecho. Muchas gracias, padre.
One last thing, Lionel, I forgot to mention, hey, I think you're a lot better public speaker than you were self-write poets. Just might point that out. Like, I see your hands coming up, like, you should let them treat you. These are against the king, but yeah, you're a lot better public speaker. You can do your self-write, of course. So keep it going. Y para ustedes, gracias por estar aquí. Me alegra de verlos, apoyando a sus hijos. Quiero que sepan que yo estoy orgulloso de sus hijos y de ustedes. Gracias por estar aquí. For you guys, excellent job. You guys can go ahead and head out, but please be sure that you guys clean out your areas. All right, please don't leave any trash behind. And I will see you guys next week at NGS. So remember, from here on out, classes will be at NGS. Sound good? Any questions? All right, cool. Great job, you guys. Question? No? Yes. Twitter presence Sunday. This Sunday, no. Unless you guys have an ask to be there. All right, good job, guys. Really appreciate it.
Yeah.
I was going to say thank you. This is my last day at NGS, and I just enjoyed being in your guys' classes and for having me. And yeah, good luck with your rest of your semesters and your summers. And you'll probably see me again. But thank you guys, and thank you, Andrew. Thank you to each.
Thank you.
Yeah.